Welcome, everyone. We'll just take a few seconds as everyone joins us today, but we are so happy to have another Inside IU Global Indy, this time around focusing on tourism, event, and sports management. Welcome, everyone. We're so happy you could join us today. We'll give everyone just a few seconds to join in. We'll get started in just a moment. But greetings from Indianapolis, Indiana. We are so happy to have everyone joining us today. Welcome, welcome. We are streaming live on StreamYard today, as well as on our Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram platforms. Please go ahead and drop us a comment in the chat. Let us know where you are listening in from today. We're so happy you can join us. Yeah, we will get started right now. So again, welcome everyone. We are excited to have another topic in our Inside IU Global Indy webinar series. Today we are going to focus on tourism, event, and sports management. So we have some really exciting content about that program here at IU Indianapolis. But before we get started, we just wanted to go over a few housekeeping items today. So we are streaming live, but this is recorded, so you are able to watch, after we're live today. We hope that you can let us know where you're listening in from in the comment box, the chat box. Let us know if you have any questions for our presenter today. We can see your chats and we'll be able to reply and ask your questions during the Q&A section later on. We hope that you'll be connecting with us after the call as well. Definitely reach out if you have questions about our campus, our programs, life in Indianapolis. We'll be happy to share that with you. And be sure to tune in later in December for our final webinar of the semester. We're going to be talking with a professor from the AI program here on campus. So with that, let me pull up my presentation. I'm going to share a little bit about our campus today here in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, and then I'll turn it over to our wonderful guest speaker to hear more about the topic this morning. Let me pull up the slide deck. All right, here we go. So to kick things off today, I wanted to share a little bit more in detail about Indiana University Indianapolis. We have a beautiful shot of our skyline, which highlights how close we are to downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. A little bit about our campus for those of you tuning in for the first time. We are a premier urban research campus located in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is the state capital here in Indiana in the Midwest of the United States. As you can see from the photo here, we have a beautiful urban campus, very close, within a 10 or 15 minute walk to our downtown area. Our campus is representing more than 100 countries with our student population, our faculty, staff, and it's a beautiful, diverse campus for students to study on. Currently, we have almost 2,000 international students from all over the world. And we're really, really proud to be in the top 10% of universities in the world, focusing on delivering the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So as I go through to share a little bit more about campus, please feel free to let us know if you have questions and connect with us on all of our socials. IU Indianapolis, though, is a great place for students to come and study in their academic programs, but we also have a lot going for us as far as campus life and ways to get connected with our community on campus in the greater Indianapolis area and more. We are a D1, Division I athletic school, so there are many ways to enjoy sports here on campus, and with our wonderful pro sports or club sport opportunities in Indianapolis proper. You can see a nice photo here from our natatorium, where we have hosted Olympic swimming trials in the past. There are more than 400 clubs and organizations on campus to get involved in as well. And that ranges from international focused clubs relating to your major, maybe music, different topics, and more. So there are many ways for students to get involved in organizations, build out their communities, and grow their network here on campus while they're studying. And of course, being steps from downtown, it allows us to have really easy access to restaurants, museums, shopping, different concerts happening, wonderful parks around the city, and more. Our location really is a great advantage for our students. Within a short walk or a quick bus ride, you're able to access all of the great amenities that downtown Indianapolis has to offer. From the maps here, you can see where Indiana is located. So again, the Midwest is a really convenient location. We have a low cost of living, a very affordable place, great all 4 seasons, a safe space for students to study, but you still have direct flights to all of the major cities around the country. If you want to travel to see some other locations in your breaks, or to make it a quick flight home during summer vacation. You can see that we also are a very short distance from places like the field house where the Pacers and the Fever play, and we'll be hearing a little bit more about some of those city connections in a moment. Our location also allows our students to have exciting internship opportunities while you study. So you don't need to wait until summer vacation to look for an internship. You can actually maybe take classes in the morning, take part in an internship in the afternoon, and then go check out a Colts game in the evening. So we do have many students taking advantage of our internship opportunities, whether that's with some local companies listed here, or joining a job fair, or working with some of the campus resources to build out your resume and look for other opportunities. Our Kelley School of Business, for example, has had over 450 opportunities for students to find internships in the past couple years. And we are a great city for tech job growth, biomedical research, and more. Speaking of our programs, we do have programs ranging from ESL all the way up to doctoral programs with so many great options in between. Please check out our website to learn more details about our programs, and reach out to our email, which I'll have at the very end of this presentation. If you have some direct questions we can help you with. But we are well known for top programs in health, sciences, business, technology, liberal arts, and more. IU Indianapolis offers the only dental school in the state of Indiana, and we're home to the Indiana University School of Medicine. There are a lot of great research opportunities on campus for students to also, join, be connected with a professor, and participate in a research opportunity from year 1 or year 2. So even undergraduate students have that chance to join a research project and build out their resume to plan ahead. As far as steps to apply, if we have anyone on the call today getting ready to apply for an undergraduate or graduate level program, a few steps to keep in mind. Specifically for undergraduate students, you can apply through the Common App or through our online portal on our website called Apply IU. There would be a few steps to submit your application and extra documents we would need from you, including your academic records, proof of English proficiency, but I want to share that we are SAT and ACT optional, so you don't have to submit those scores unless you choose to. We have a great team here in the International Admissions Office who helps students through the process until you receive your admission letter, and then we connect you with our welcome team to help prepare you for the journey to Indianapolis and getting ready to be successful in your academic program. All that to say, we are here to help you throughout. So reach out, connect with us. We'd love to hear from you, and we can help answer questions you may have about the admissions process. For any graduate students or interested graduate students on the call, the first step is always to reach out to your department and connect with them, and we are there to support along the way as well. So another view, kind of looking at the timeline, our fall 2025 application portal is open. So if you're thinking about starting your program next fall, now's the time. We do offer merit scholarships for undergraduate students, and if you apply and are eligible for our merit scholarships, you would be awarded a scholarship for your time here on campus. The amount would be listed in your admission letter, and we're looking for students who have a 3.0 on the US GPA scale or higher. A couple of other options would be to look at our honors college programs. Those have some exciting scholarship available abilities as well, including the BEPCO scholarship. So please check out our website to learn a little bit more about international students who have recently been awarded the BEPCO scholarship, which is great because it does include up to full tuition for all 4 years. Our classes typically begin in August, so you know, along the way now, for students who are getting ready to apply and submit your application, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you and help with any questions you may have. Kind of wrapping things up on my end, though, I wanted to end with a beautiful shot from campus looking downtown, as well as a quote from one of our student peer mentors, talking about their experience here at IU Indianapolis and how they feel comfortable and welcomed to campus, how they've been getting used to life in Indianapolis. And just we wanted to share that we are here to support our international students, to welcome you to campus, to make sure we can share all of our wonderful resources with you and help you be successful during your time here studying in your program. I've mentioned this already, but we would love to hear from you, so please connect with us. We'll drop some more information in the chat, and this is recorded so you can watch this later on, but please reach out to iapply@iu.edu with any questions, and we look forward to hearing from you. So with that, thank you so much for listening to the general information about IU Indianapolis. I want to turn it over to our wonderful speaker and presenter today. Let me pull up your presentation here and we can get ready to go. Erica, welcome to the call today. We're so happy that you could join us. I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit more, but just thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday morning here in Indianapolis. I know I'm really excited to hear more about this area, and over to you. Thanks so much for your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and welcome. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening to all of our participants today from around the world. So happy to be able to connect with you. So I am with you this morning to talk a little bit about the Tourism Event and Sport Management Program at IU Indianapolis, and something that is a little special about my presenting. Not only am I currently a faculty of the program, but I'm also an alumni of the program. So I once sat in the classrooms. I took the courses. I was a part of this department. And so I have a lot of pride in the work that we do. I think that we have a really great, unique, and interesting program that you don't often find on other universities, and maybe even not in other departments on our campus. We have a lot of really unique things that we bring to the table. So my name is Erica Shonkwiler. I'm a senior lecturer in the department, and the area of tourism, event, and sport management that is my focus is event management. I teach all of our event management courses that are required in the major, also that are required in the minor and certificate programs. And so I am not your traditional academic in that I did not come up through academics. I actually worked in the industry as an event planner well, I'm still doing it. I have over 20 years of experience, from working at convention centers to destinations to industry, like global associations, and doing global event planning. I have a lot of different and unique backgrounds from the industry that I bring to the table. And when I came on to IU Indianapolis, obviously I was really passionate about teaching and sharing this industry and this career path with students. am proud to be an alumni of the program. But at the same time, I love event management. I didn't necessarily want to leave it just, to become a teacher completely. So I actually at that time started my own business, and I continued to do event management consulting and planning, especially during the summer when our classes are a little bit lighter. I'm still doing international event planning and bringing that knowledge and that information to class on a daily basis. I'm highly engaged in the international associations that represent our industry. So, Professional Convention Management Association and Meeting Professionals International. They are the groups that kind of provide our certification and represent event management as an industry. And I am one of 13 faculty in our department. The other faculty, their expertises are in all of the other areas. We've got multiple faculty that have expertise in sport management and sport analytics. We have other faculty that have expertise in tourism or in hospitality management. And so we have a really diverse faculty that make up the team that deliver the courses across such a wide variety of topics, yet all a very interconnected industry. So, to give you a little bit of information about our program, I think that our program is unique. We do have some offerings that are some things that you will not find at any other program on the Indianapolis campus. We do have 4 degree options, 4 bachelor's degree options. You have the ability to choose between majoring in tourism, event management, hospitality, or sport management. You also very easily, and we have a lot of students that do this, double major in 2 of these from our program. And students would typically do that because maybe they were interested in being a corporate event and travel planner. And so they felt that they needed the expertise that would come from the tourism side and the event management side. Or let's say that you were interested in someday being the director and running a large sports venue. So you might want a sport management and then also hospitality, maybe double major, because of the fact that you know that you're going to be dealing with ticketing and concessions and things like that. So it's not required. 1 is all that you need, but at the same time, we have a lot of students that do choose to double major. And the number of classes that adds on, it often doesn't delay your education graduation timeline. It's things that students are easily able to add on with maybe a couple of extra classes in the summer. And so easy thing to do. We also have certificates and minors. So we have a lot of different certificates and minors in our program because of the fact that our students will say, just like I mentioned before, I want to do event management. That's what I'm really interested in. But I have a feeling that I'm going to end up working for a sports organization. So I want some additional education in some of those areas. Or I recognize that as an event planner, most of my events are going to occur in hotels and convention centers. So having some hospitality knowledge would be really helpful to me in landing my first job or being qualified for the job that I want to get. We have a student right now that is down. She just graduated last May and is down at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, working. And she actually has a major in sport management, a event management certificate, and a hospitality management certificate. She recognized that she needed even a little bit more to be able to land a job with Disney, which was her dream job when she graduated. So we have all these certificates that you can kind of pick and choose from that would be a little less work than a double major, but still kind of gives you a badge, something that you can add on to your resume that shows that you have competencies in these areas. The same thing goes for minors. Our minors are typically things that are available to students outside of our department. So students from other schools on campus, they might be in, like, for example, maybe they're getting a journalism major or a communications major, or they're a marketing major with the Kelley School of Business. And they recognize that, wow, in marketing and communications and journalism or philanthropy and all of these other career areas, I'm probably going to be required to do events as a part of my job or as a part of my career. So we often have really diverse classrooms in our program where students from all over campus are taking event management courses or hospitality courses just to help them to be able to be a more well-rounded and multi-skilled professional when they graduate, to be able to get the jobs that they want. Lastly, something that's not listed here and that makes us very unique on the Indianapolis campus is that we actually have a custom minor. You have the ability as a student in our program or any program on campus to work with us to build a minor that is completely designed for you. So there's a minimum number of credit hours that we have to accomplish in that minor, but our faculty will actually sit down with you and say, what is your goal when you graduate? What job is your dream job? What are you trying to accomplish? Where do you see your career path? And we will actually custom build from our classes a minor for you that will help you get from where you are currently to being able to be in a position to land that dream job or to be able to follow that career path that you're working on. So we can also build a custom education for you. So between choosing between the majors and then being able to double major and make lots of selections there, you also have the ability to add certificates on, to do a custom minor. All of these things are created so that really your education in our program is a choose your own adventure. We are ready and prepared to help you build the education that serves you for when you graduate and what your passion area is. So it's very flexible. Excuse me. Okay, so that's our program. Now let me dive a little bit into our culture. This was an area that I specifically wanted to talk to all of you today, especially because you would be coming to the program as international students. We currently have some incredible international students in the program, and I've taught many of them in the 10 years that I've been with the school. And there's some things that I've learned from them along the way that they think are, things that are different about our program than maybe the education that you've experienced back home. And so I wanted to highlight some of those things on what you would experience as a part of the culture within our program on campus. First off, our faculty. So as I mentioned, we have 13 full-time faculty. We also have some incredible adjuncts from the local community, but something that is unique to us is that most of our faculty has incredible real world experience. We actually teach you how to do the job from the perspective of that we've done the job. So just like I mentioned to you that I have 20 years of event planning experience and that I'm still doing it as an entrepreneur in my own business, and then I'm bringing that to the classroom. Most of our faculty, that's the case. They're still doing it. They're still out there. They're still in the industry. They're still working on hands-on projects and things that keep them really relevant. So they're not just teaching you from a textbook. The textbook's part of it, and it helps you learn some of the basics and the foundations, but we really grow from there. We want you to know what's happening in the industry now. We want your education to be something that helps you get a job, keep a job, and get promoted. That's always what we talk about. So that picture that you see there on the top left, so the guy in the top in the middle is Dr. Jeff Sherman. He is a part of our sport management faculty. And just the same way that I'm out in the event planning world, he is in the sports world on a regular basis. He is a sports statistician, and he does statistics and crunches the numbers for two of our major teams in Indianapolis. So the Indianapolis Pacers, which is our pro basketball team, and then our minor league baseball team, the Indianapolis Indians. So when he's not in the classroom, he's on the sideline of the basketball court doing statistics, crunching numbers. And he even got a special opportunity because of that during COVID, he got to work inside the NBA bubble. Which was a group that they brought together to keep everybody safe, but to be able to keep the NBA season going forward. And he was selected from statisticians across the country to go and be a part of that. He was actually teaching his classes from the bubble in Orlando. So we really bring real world experience to the classroom. Another thing that I think is really great about our program is that our faculty is highly connected. We are really engaged in the industry because of the fact that we are still so involved and working and deep in projects. If we're not working, we're doing projects with some of the biggest companies in our industry, especially in our local community. And so I know a lot of people. I know people at the Colts. We know people at the Pacers. We know people at the Indiana Convention Center. We know people at Disney. We know people at a lot of these major organizations that represent our industry. And when you become a student in our program, our network becomes your network, because we know that it's not just what you know, but it's who you know. A lot of times, who you know and having a good contact is the thing that gets your foot in the door, or that gets you into a room, that helps you then shine your skills and be able to take that forward. So we make sure to lend the network that we've built in our 20 plus years of experience to our students to help them start to build that professional network while they're studying. Another thing that I think is pretty incredible about our faculty and our culture is that we have a low faculty student ratio, meaning that our classrooms are typically not greater than 50 students. A lot of them are in between 25 students to 50 students per class. And so you always have access to us. We get to know you. I know your name. If you don't come to class today, I think, I wonder if they're doing okay. Like, I wonder if they're sick. Like, I notice that you're not there. We build a relationship. The classes that I teach, I start with students when they're freshmen in the basic level event planning class. And I have classes with them all the way through their senior year. So I really get to know you. I get to know what your interests are, what you're excited about. And I can then really help support you as a student, as a young professional, because I do get to know you. I encourage students to call me Erica. I want to be on a first name basis, because the time that we spend together in the university is actually very short, and it will go by, sadly, very quickly. We will blink and you will be working in the industry and you will be my peer. And so I like to, and I think all of our other faculty also see it that way, that we like to invest in a relationship with you that is 30, 40 years in the making, where most of that time we will be peers instead of in necessarily an instructor and student format. So we are here to help. I often have meetings with students to help them with class projects, help them build their resume, talk about what their career path is, and help them figure those things out. We are hands-on with you and very accessible. Our classes are a little bit unique too from the typical collegiate course that maybe you've experienced, or even high school courses that you've experienced at home. Our faculty is committed to the idea that experiential learning is the best way to prepare you for jobs when you graduate. So the careers that we're teaching you about, we can start in the classroom, we can start with textbooks, we can start with those things. And we want to impart our knowledge upon you. But getting you out and actually getting you in hands-on experiences where the things that we talk about in the classroom come to life, that's really where you're going to be able to fully learn what it looks like to not just understand the work, but do the work. So that picture that I have there on the upper left, that is a group of our current students that were just with me at a big racing event that was in the city of Indianapolis, not auto racing, but road racing. It was a monumental marathon is what they call it. And it includes like a marathon and a half marathon and a 5K. So it's a running event. These students were on site with me working for the entire weekend while the event was going on, running the social media platforms for that organization and learning about communications and social media management and event management. They were on site with me, gathering content, building videos. So we go out into the field. We don't just talk in the classroom. Another thing is field trips and speakers. So I have a lot that I am excited to share with our students. But in the Indianapolis community, there are so many world-class organizations, hotels, event venues, sports teams. We have such a hotbed in our backyard, with the city being walking distance from our campus, that there's so many professionals that we want to expose you to and help you be able to learn from them also. I bring in a ton of guest speakers every semester to help my students really learn from the people that are also doing the work and to get different perspectives on the topics that I'm teaching them. We also get out of the classroom a lot. So this semester, just in my 100 level event management course with my freshmen, We will have gone on 8 different field trips over the course of the semester to look at different venues and locations where events would be held and get to see the types of events that are being held in them currently. So they get to go behind the scenes, they get to walk around back of house and on docks and go backstage and see things that I couldn't quite give them just from pictures in the classroom. So phenomenal things. So the picture that you see there on the bottom, this is a group of students that went on a field trip with me back in the spring to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where the Indy 500 is held every year. And they got to go out on the track and kiss the bricks, which is kind of a something that you do when you visit the city and you visit the Speedway. And so they got to go and take a field trip around that entire venue and get to see what it would look like to have an event there. And then finally, the other thing I would say with our classes that is very unique is that we actually give you real projects, not just case studies that you do in the classroom and that we talk about. We do use case studies, but we actually give you real projects where you're working on a consulting project as a class, or you're actually selling tickets as a part of your sales class for a local professional team. Or like my class, the senior year final event class, there's no textbook, there's no exams, there's no lecture. We plan a real event together as a team. So these classes are designed so that when you finish these classes, it's not just about having education on your resume. It's about having professional experiences on your resume. You can list these events. You can list these things that you did on your resume as real world experiences. The picture that I show there, I'm very proud of this group. This was a group of students that were involved in my class back in the spring. In Indianapolis, we were really lucky back in April that the solar eclipse had a path of totality that ran right through Indianapolis, which brought an incredible amount of tourism to our state. We sold out hotels. The downtown was filled with people that came in to watch the eclipse, and we had terrific weather. The students in my top level event class in the spring, they got to plan the event that was held in downtown Indianapolis that was free and open to the public. There were over 24,000 people in attendance at this event. They got to plan all of the entertainment, music, games. They got to do decor in the park. They got to set all of those things up and do mapping. And so it was a huge success. It was an amazing event that lives on their resume as much more than just a class. I've mentioned that the city of Indianapolis is in our backyard, and we are so lucky and so fortunate to have that, especially in the topics of tourism, event, and sport management. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Indianapolis, like that's not like Chicago or New York or Orlando as far as like a tourist destination. You're right. Indianapolis isn't typically a place that people go to on vacation. So, as people in the tourism and event and hospitality industry in the city has really had to try to invent itself in a different way because we don't have Walt Disney World, we don't have beaches, we don't have mountains. So, Indianapolis for 40 years has been building itself as a sports and event destination. Because of that, we have huge organizations that hold sporting events like the NCAA, the National Collegiate Athletic Association, that runs all of the college athletic programs throughout the United States. Their headquarters is a quarter of a mile from my office. So walking distance from my office, easy, I can be there in about 5 minutes. We also have things in the community like the Indy 500, single largest one-day sporting event in the entire world. The year that we sold out, there were probably about 500,000 people just inside of that venue for the Indy 500. We also have a ton of conventions that come through our convention center because our convention center is attached to our stadium that the Colts play in, our professional football team. And that is a really unique thing for a city, and it allows us access to a whole lot more space. We can book very large events. Some of our largest events that we have here have 70,000 to 100,000 attendees for conventions. So the city has really invested in being a great event destination, a great sport destination, And then making sure that we have the infrastructure in place in our community to be able to support that claim. We've had rankings in USA Today that we are the #1 convention city in the US. Our airport for over a decade was listed as the #1 airport in North America. We've been listed as America's next great food city. We have the best children's museum in the country, exceptional attraction. The best American cities for live music. Indianapolis was listed on that. One of the best and highest performing venues for Live Nation is actually the amphitheater that is located in Indianapolis, better performing than any of their other amphitheaters across the country as far as like the number of tickets sold and its profitability. So if you're interested in getting into live music and running live music events, Indianapolis is a great city to do that. We also have incredible sporting events like NCAA events, professional sporting events, the Indy 500, and also listed as the best half marathon in the United States. So we have a lot of really great running events that are here too. So as a faculty member, I luck out because we have this incredible city, walking distance from our campus, that I can plug students into working in all of these different places, getting experience in all these different areas, and the career opportunities that all of that provides. So that's our culture. We really tap into the local community. We have a down-to-earth staff. We know your name. We care about you as an individual. And we like to get you out of the classroom as much as possible. So now let's talk a little bit about what your experience might look like in the program. So I wanted to highlight a couple of things. One thing that we often tell our freshmen and students coming into this program is what you put into this, you will get back times 10. We will provide tons of opportunities for you to grow and learn and get engaged and be connected. You just have to say yes. And every time that you say yes to something that I bring to class or one of your other faculty members brings to class or shares with you as an opportunity, it is amazing how much you grow from all of those. And the students that graduate from our program and are the most successful often give advice to our current students and say yes. You get so many opportunities in this program. All you have to do is say yes, and all the doors will open for you. So some ways to get engaged. One is work. If work is a possibility for you, for a lot of our students do work while they go to school. I know for international students that sometimes that's not necessarily a fit, but work opportunities, all of downtown Indy, there are part-time jobs galore. There are tons of jobs that are really flexible with school. We have a wonderful hospitality community that supports our students, understands that you're getting an education and wants to support you in that. We have incredible internships. Students in our program intern at Disney. They intern with the Indianapolis Colts. They intern at the NCAA, with the Indianapolis Pacers. They are able to put mega brands, mega companies on their resume. But at the same time, maybe you're interested in being more dived into the local community. Maybe you're interested in nonprofit event planning. We have tons of amazing local nonprofits that we can plug you into as well. So everything from the big and sparkly opportunities to the small and really meaningful ones, we have hundreds of opportunities that you get to choose from. Volunteerism, because of all of the events that we have in our city, we bring a lot of volunteer opportunities to you as a student and really encourage you to volunteer. You can spend a couple hours at an event on a Saturday or a Sunday and get to see behind the scenes and get exposed to that event without having to take on another job or another internship. And now all of a sudden you're building this very diverse resume. Also, because our faculty has such great connections to professionals in the local industry, we are really ready to help you if you're interested in job shadowing. So a lot of times I have students in the event planning courses that say, I'd like to be a wedding planner when they start off. And my response to them is, that's terrific. Wedding planners are incredible human beings, but it's a hard job. That's a very hard job that has a lot of emotion involved. Have you ever done a wedding before? Do you know what that might feel like or what that might look like in a typical day? I always encourage students, I'll introduce you to 3 wedding planners in the Indianapolis area that are highly successful and have their own businesses that will let you come shadow them while they do an actual wedding. you can see, is this a good fit for me? Does this seem like something that would make me happy to do with my career? So we have tons of contacts where we can help you explore the things that you're considering and the ideas that you have. We have some incredible electives. You're required as a part of the degree to get to take some electives that you get to choose those classes. And we have some really unique electives that you get to choose from. As an example, this semester, I'm still in this class currently. We just actually had a class meeting yesterday. Taylor Swift brought the Eras Tour to Indianapolis, November 1st through the 3rd. She played 3 days. We had 3 concerts, and it was the end of the tour in the United States. It was a really big deal in the city of Indianapolis. Thousands upon thousands of people poured into the city that didn't even have tickets. They just came to be a part of the action and the festivities and get Taylor Swift merchandise. So we thought, what a great time to have a class on Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour and how that creates economic impact to a local city. Or how do they do the event planning behind something like that? How many semi trucks does it take? How do you set up the stage? How many people work there? What does the budget look like? How do they decide the ticket prices that were so crazy to be able to go see Taylor Swift? So we have an executive from Live Nation, one of our great contacts, that is actually teaching our class this semester on Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour. The students are having an incredible experience, and all of them, in addition to being put in contact with that great expert and industry pro, part of the class was that they had to go volunteer. They had to go get into the field on the weekend that she was here and participate in some really incredible events that were in the city. And they now have resume experiences connected to something that maybe they were passionate about anyway. Maybe they were already a Swiftie and they actually got to study it. I also, every year, I take a class down to Austin, Texas over spring break, where the students get to work behind the scenes on the South by Southwest Festival, the largest festival in the world. It has a music festival, a film festival, a conference, technology exhibition. It is one of the coolest festivals in the United States that happens on an annual basis. And we take a group of students down to actually learn behind the scenes and connect with their executives as well. So we have really interesting electives. We also have some great study abroad opportunities, things like ecotourism, or we have a cruise class where you actually get to go on a cruise over spring break and learn all about the cruise industry. You get to meet the captain and go below the deck and see the way that a cruise ship operates. And then we have a cultural heritage one that goes to multiple stops in Europe. So lots of different study abroad opportunities. We have great student organizations. That's another way to get involved, which I think it was mentioned earlier, student organizations and student clubs. We have clubs in our department focused on students that are interested in sport management. And then we also have clubs and organizations focused on event management. Our event management students currently are working really hard. They've gathered and fundraised over $15,000 that will allow the registration, hotel, and airfare for over 20 students to be paid for to attend a international event planning annual convention that's going to be in Houston, Texas this January. So all of them will go. I will be with them. I'll be introducing them to people, and they'll get to go to an actual real professional convention. And they were able to do the fundraising to cover everyone's expenses. Those are the experiences that our student organizations are doing. And then finally, research. We are a great research institution too. We have some faculty that are doing some incredible research on things like sports analytics and crisis management, hospitality, tourism trends. And so if you're a student that is interested in pursuing a graduate degree or going on, or you're interested in research, our faculty love working with students and engaging students in those research activities. So I thought I can tell you about these things, and I can tell you how great and amazing they are. But I thought, what better than to actually show you from the mouths of our students? So these are some posts on LinkedIn that our students have done just in about the last year. So Leslie Conover, on the left-hand side there, this is her posting about her internship with the Future Farmers of America National Convention. 70,000 people come to Indianapolis for their national convention every year, and she landed the internship that helps coordinate all of that and had an incredible experience. Sarah Stewart in the middle, she's talking about the Taylor Swift class this semester and how she had the ability to take this class and how she got to actually go and volunteer during the big Taylor weekend. If you see our giant hotel, the JW Marriott downtown, we put up a 400-foot tall sign of Taylor Swift to welcome all the Swifties to the city. It was an incredible weekend. Or Noah Stranahan, one of our most successful recent grads from our sport management program. He's posting with other sport management students on the field, talking about how they got to volunteer at the Big Ten Football Championship, which is a college football big championship that's hosted here in Indianapolis, and how they got to be a part of the halftime show. So these were all things brought to them through our department. Joseph Mucciarelli on the left-hand side, he got to go to New York City and meet with the city's tourism and conventions office and do a job shadowing. And so this is him posting about that amazing experience. Emma Rohrbacher up at the top. This is her post about going to that big industry association event. We go every year. This coming year, it's in Houston. Last time it was in San Diego. We took 22 students, all expenses paid. This is Emma talking about how she had the most amazing experience in San Diego with all of her fellow students and how they got to meet so many different people. On the right, so this student, Roy, he has been doing some research with one of our faculty members, specifically on travel behaviors and Gen Y and Gen Z travelers. And he actually got to go to a conference, an industry conference, and present on the research with her and talk to people from all around the world. And then finally, just our ecotourism class, they built an entire website after they got back from their study abroad experience, which I think is about 10 days long. They went to Costa Rica and did all of these unique and different things to understand the way that ecotourism is a travel trend in Costa Rica and meet with different people that are leading that industry in the country. So just some pictures and examples of students. This isn't my stuff. This is our students talking about the experiences that they're having. I'm going to show you a quick video of that South by Southwest class so that you can kind of see from their own words one of our unique electives.
I would highly recommend coming to South by Southwest and working it. The coolest part about being down here is the environment of everyone else that you're with. This is probably one of the greatest experiences that I've had so far, just to really feel community and feel just the presence of other people from all around the world.
You know, it's a huge event that teaches you a lot of different skills, helps you get out of your comfort zone, network.
I would say I have met multiple people in a couple of days than I have met in my entire life.
I met Jake Johnson and have a picture with him on my phone now, which is the guy from New Girl, who plays Nick.
I've been able to meet people from CNN, Pinterest, Meta.
I talked to some man who was from the Czech Republic, the Netherlands, Brazil. I've just had really conversations with them. Everybody's here for a different reason.
You come down here for a reason, connecting for a reason. So just be you. Be yourself, for sure.
All right, that was just a little bit of a recap from 2023 when I took students down, and we'll be going again. I'm actually working on getting the trip ready for next year. Another cool thing that our department does, anytime students come to us with a fun and unique idea, we're usually game to help you figure out how to make it happen. We had 2 of our female sports management students that came to our sport management faculty and said, we want to start a podcast. We want to start a podcast all about women in sports. And we want to call it the Game Time Gals podcast. Would you help us do this? And the department has supported them. They are currently a podcast that is putting stuff out on a regular basis, interviewing different great industry professionals that are women in sports in the city of Indianapolis. and just discussing incredible, cool career pursuits. So Anna Greenfield, she's our sport management student that said that her dream was to work for Disney when she graduated. She also majored in event management. She also got the hospitality. She's the one I was mentioning. And this was a quote from her when she graduated: "Between the supportive faculty and the endless opportunities in Indy, you can't choose a better school for sport management." So she's a perfect example of a student that said yes and that got 10 times out what she put in and is now at her dream job down in Orlando. So, all right, I want to leave our last 10 minutes to questions from all of you. And don't worry if we don't get to everybody's questions. I've got my email address here. I'm also happy to follow up with anyone as well.
Erica, wow. There's so many exciting things happening in Indianapolis and within the program. Thank you so much for sharing that. And as Erica shared, we are going to open it up for Q&A now. Please drop a question for Erica into our chat box, and I'll keep an eye out for those questions coming in. But we did have a few questions during the presentation, so I'd like to kick
Great.
this off with a question from Harnack, who asks, which sports are mainly focused within the sports management area, within the sports management program?
Actually, all sports. So if there is a sport that is of interest to you, they are prepared. And because of Indy being such a international sports destination, we have everything here from high school and college sports, if that's what you're interested in, like athletic departments, to running a sports venue for just about any sport. Or if you're interested in working with club teams, minor league, major league, all of that is looked at. And our program really looks at sport management from the business perspective and helps you understand how sports are managed, almost like, more from the business perspectives, where you're able to then utilize that in a lot of different career paths that you would take when you graduate. I'll also say too, in collaboration with the informatics school on campus, we actually have gone in with them and we have a major and a graduate program. So an undergrad and grad program in sports analytics. So let's say that you're really interested in the analytics side of sports. You're wanting to be on the data side, statistician. There's even a undergrad and graduate program that we support that we can help you get into as well.
Mm-hmm.
But name the sport, all the sports. And we have a ton of sports in Indianapolis. We even have a polo team in Indianapolis.
It sounds like tennis might be of interest.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we actually have students that have interned on different mega tennis events.
Amazing. And another question coming in relating to sports management. Could you share a little bit about what subjects, maybe what classes a student would study? And then maybe look at other areas too?
Yeah. So one of the things that we recognize is that we are all kind of in the same industry, even though you might be interested in sport or event or hospitality. Every sporting event requires knowledge of tourism, knowledge of hospitality, knowledge of events. So you'll be taking classes like venue management. You'll be taking classes that help you with the logistics behind sporting events. You'll also be taking marketing classes that help you to understand how would you communicate and promote different sporting events. You'll have classes on ticketing. So there's a ticketing class because ticketing is such a huge part of sport management and sporting events, where you actually are selling tickets for the Indianapolis Pacers, our Major League NBA team. And so you're getting real world experience managing the entire ticketing process. There's lots of sales classes that you would take as a part of that. You have classes where you learn to build activations and learn things like even like ethics in sports and law in sports, as it applies to different things like working with professional versus amateur players.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wonderful. And I do see handball mentioned as well, which I know is really popular in other parts of the world. Is that something you've heard of happening here in Indy as well?
I don't think it's not something that I have heard of in Indy of having a big presence. I will definitely say pickleball has exploded in the
Sure.
United States.
Mhm.
We've got a lot of that. But that said, whether you are going into sports business, sports management for a handball team, a volleyball team, a football team, I think that the way that the business is run is really similar. And so the classes allow you to understand how to manage the organization, how to run it in a profitable way, how to engage that organization within the community. And then you can take that knowledge and volunteer, do internships, work for organizations that help you really refine to the niche that you're interested in, so that when you graduate, you get to get in with the organization that you want to be with. And I think our faculty is really good at helping you figure out how to design that career path to get you ready for graduation so that you can work in handball.
Absolutely. I do see another question coming in. Are there opportunities provided if someone would want to do a startup after their course based on tourism?
Actually, yes. So this is a cool story from our department for sure. We have the final event, or the final class in sport management and the final class in event management have both had projects where the students worked on real world projects that actually led to startups after they graduated. They took their ideas live after graduation. One of them was on a sport marketing platform where they built a platform that helped kind of aggregate data. Another group on the sports side that launched a business after they graduated was on creating like a website and a resource for officials, the people that officiate different types of sports, referees, if you will, which is kind of a huge labor issue in the United States, is finding enough people to be able to fill those roles. And I've had students in event management that after they graduated came together and started event companies and have become very successful. So entrepreneurship is definitely supported and something that we can advise and help you and link you up to a great local network to support you.
Oh, wonderful. Let's see. I see another question. To become a sports analyst, should I do a major in sports management?
Oh, that would be something that I would love to connect you with so Jeff Sherman, who I mentioned, is a statistician for two of our local professional teams. I would love to connect you with him so that you guys could talk about the pros and the cons of maybe different approaches to your education. So maybe doing a sport management undergrad and then a sport analytics master's. Maybe that's a good way of approaching it. Or maybe it's good to do both, the sports analytics undergrad and master's. Jeff would be the person that is really the expert in that area. And he would be happy to hop on a Zoom call with you from wherever you are, very approachable, just like me, and help you kind of figure out what's the best path forward for you based upon what you want when you're done.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm going to drop an email in the chat box for students to reach out and continue the conversation even after our call wraps today. And then when we hear from anyone, we'd be so happy to connect them to you, to your colleagues, to the department. And then we are getting close to time, but I do see a few other questions coming in.
Okay.
So one question is coming in about golf opportunities here in the city. And I see a couple of other questions coming in about music as well, like you mentioned. So
Yes.
yeah.
So we actually have one of our faculty who specializes in golf management. That is his area of expertise. That is his area of research. I also know that there was just an announcement in the last week, which I'm not fully up to speed on because it's just been a couple days just this week, about a rival PGA kind of tour that's going to actually be coming to a golf club in Indianapolis that has kind of started a lot of debate in the community. So we do have a vibrant golf scene here and have multiple alumni that work at golf clubs and a faculty member dedicated to this area that would be an excellent coach for a student that's interested in that. On the live music side, we have multiple large amphitheaters and arenas and stadiums in the city that are all used for music. A very vibrant live music scene. And a lot of the Live Nation executives from the Midwest live in Indianapolis. Because of the amphitheater here being their top performing amphitheater across the country, we have a lot of their executives here that do job shadowing with students. We're able to connect you with those individuals. A lot of our students work at Live Nation venues all throughout the year and do things and do different internships with live music. And then I have one right now that's going to go to South by Southwest with me in the class in the spring, because she recognizes that if she does that and works on that international music festival, that's an incredible career opportunity for her. So we've got the connections and the classes and opportunities to help you build a resume for the live music industry.
Absolutely. Well, starting to wrap things up here because we are at the end of our time today. Erica, like you mentioned, there is so much more happening in Indianapolis than I think people realize. I hope everyone who's been able to join us on the call today has learned a little bit more about the program and the great things happening in the city. And just a reminder, everyone, please stay connected with us. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help connect you to the department. Reach out to iApply@iu.edu, and I can help get that connection going. Please join us on December 14th for our final webinar of the semester, focusing on AI within our Luddy School here on campus. And then Erica, as we end things today, any final thoughts? And I just want to say a big thank you for all of this great information today.
Just my final thought would be to follow through on what I said about the culture. I'm here. I love talking with prospective students. And so I would welcome any of you to reach out to me and ask for a meeting or ask me to connect you with some of our other faculty. Everyone is very warm and approachable and more than happy to help talk through things with you. So it's great to meet you.
And with that, thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your evening, day, and weekend. And until next time, reach out with any questions, and thank you.